Hi everyone, welcome back. Jedi here. Got another book review for you. I'm not in the car this time, as you can see. Usually do most of them from the car if I can. I like to do a bit of reading at lunchtime while I'm at work. This one is, as you can see, When All Hell Breaks Loose, Stuff You Need to Survive When Disaster Strikes, by Cody Lundin, author of the best-selling 98.6 Degrees, The Art of Keeping Your Arse Alive, which I've done another review on. That was the first book that I got hold of. This one being the second in the series. Cody Lundin, if you don't know who he is, has a wilderness living school, primitive Aboriginal primitive skills school in Arizona in the US, and also well known for his appearances on the Discovery Channel alongside Dave Canterbury. I'd be surprised if any of my viewers didn't know Dave Canterbury. Great book, priced at, let's just show you that. Priced at $19.99 US, but I'm sure you can pick it up a bit cheaper on the well-known sites. This one was given to me as a gift by my wife for Christmas. It's taken me quite a while to get through it. Split into two sections, and let's just give you a rundown of the contents. I'm not going to take you through all the contents of the book, but I'll just give you a quick rundown up to the camera of the contents page so you can get an idea of how the book is structured. I'm hoping you can read this all right. So part one is called Head Candy. So looking at the psychological aspects of survival and disaster scenarios, and also the physiological aspects of survival. What happens to us, how we react to stresses and all those sorts of things. Let's give you a quick rundown of that, so you can pause at any point and just have a look at the contents page if you want to. And then the second part of the book is called Hand Candy, which touches on really the tangible gear and kit aspects, amongst other things, of disaster and survival situations, what you need in terms of water, food, cooking, sanitation, communications, bugging out, should I stay or should I go, signalling, shelter, all those kind of things that really we kind of know about. There are some overlaps with the book 98.6 Degrees, but in my mind that's not an absolutely bad thing, because the more you look at these concepts, the more you take them in, the more you learn them. But there is an awful lot more additional content in this book than there was just in the 98.6 Degrees, which really was about the body's core temperature and how to regulate that. You know, lots of different ways of ensuring that your survival is determined by the body's core temperature and making sure that doesn't fluctuate too much. This one having some of that information in there, but also adding an awful lot more to it. The thing I like about Cody's writing style is it's very humorous. There's some great pictures in there that demonstrate what he's trying to put across, some great drawings. You know, it's a very humorous way of putting these things across, but it is a very serious undertone to it. I won't probably put too much more in front of the camera for you, but you know, you can see the book is laden with diagrams and drawings and pictures. A lot of people can be a very visual, have a very visual way of learning. And I like a combination of both, the text and the drawings. But it goes a long way to helping a lot of people to understand the content that he's trying to put across. He does put a summary at the end of each of the chapters as well, which is very, very helpful. So if you want to skip the content, you can look at some of the summary pages, and they're obviously good for revisiting the content at a later date. You know, it's not all fun and games. Survival is not a game. A lot of people go running off to the woods with nothing but their 5 or 10 items, and that's all well and good for practice purposes. But you know, ultimately, survival is not a game. Survival, and people are having to survive in very real situations all around the world. And I want to make that point very, very clear. This is not fun and games. The stuff that you're going to learn in this book needs to be learned in advance. It's not for leaving on the shelf and just picking up, or as Cody puts it, you know, learning to swim as the ship's going down. You need to look at this and learn it and revisit it and relearn it and practice it time and time and time again. For us in the UK, we are way behind our American brothers in our preparedness strategies and learning. We really are, and I think we've got to really do something about that. We just ignore the fact that our financial services institutions, like they were reported last week, are manipulating deliberately for their own profit and benefit the markets. We're completely ignoring the fact that we've got torrential rain at the moment. We're not ignoring it, but are we prepared for it is the question. No, we're not. There's going to be a lot of families up in the northeast that are really going to struggle because of the floods that happen from that torrential rain. And a lot of them could be in much better situations if they read books like this, if they prepared for those situations and took it on board. It's something that I feel very, very strongly about. Remove somebody's electricity in this country and 99% of the households are going to be absolutely stuffed if it's for 2 or 3 days. Yes, it's a niggle if they don't have their Xboxes and their TV working. Yes, it's going to be a pain in the backside if the microwave doesn't work. You know, all those sorts of things, but they could probably cater for a day with what they've got in their pantries or their larders or in the cupboards with food that doesn't necessarily have to be heated. But go any longer than 3 days and I think, you know, panic would start to take over, and it really shouldn't do. The information in books like this I think would go a long way to making sure that we're able to overcome these situations. Anyway, rant over, great book, I thoroughly enjoy it. It's going to stay on my bookshelf. Pick it up, let me know what you think. If there is anybody in the UK or up and down the British Isles that has read this, let me know what you think. I'm particularly interested in the comments and views and opinions from the UK based people as to what they think. And anybody from the US, you know, I always love to hear your comments and ideas and suggestions. If you've got it, let me know. If you've read the other one, let me know. That'd be great. Appreciate all your time as usual. Thanks very much for joining me for this one. Just a quick update, I've got another book review that won't be too far behind this one, and it was a gift from my good friend 51 Foxy, who passed this one on to me at the Bushcraft show just recently, Finding Your Way Without Map or Compass. It's an area of my skill sets that I need to work on. I do tend to slow down and pay attention to what I'm doing in the woods, where I'm going and all those sorts of things. I did have a life lesson in that not too long ago when I started the deer, and I put a video up on that one, but that's the next book review to come up. Let's take those two out of the way and I'll just give you a very quick idea. I've got another one coming up on Brendan Chase soon as well. There is also one that I'm going to be doing on the self-sufficiency handbook, so you know, lots of tips on growing your own food, looking after your own livestock, solar and wind energy, lots of other things. Pick that one up for just $4.99 at the local garden centre, absolute steal. Then what else have I got? I've also got Lawrence, a follow-up to Lawrence Gonzalez's book, this one called Everyday Survival, Why Smart People Do Stupid Things. Really enjoyed Lawrence Gonzalez's previous book and I did a review on that one, but I know lots of supposedly smart people that do a lot of stupid things, and I'm thinking if I can go halfway to understanding exactly why that is, maybe I could be a little bit more accommodating with those people than I perhaps am. So there you go, a little bit of a view on what I've got coming up in terms of book reviews. Plenty of stuff for me to be getting on with, but in the meantime I shall just leave you with a final view of Cody Lundin's When All Hell Breaks Loose, Stuff You Need to Survive When Disaster Strikes. Thanks very much for joining me, peeps. See you in the next video.